just walked into Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns, the big opening cutscene, which really explains nothing. But it's like has lots of
It's
cute.
pretty, right?
It has lots of cute people with pink hair saying cryptic things, which you think that it's going to make everything all clear and explain it later on in the game. But when you actually play through, you're like, nope, this is just as nonsensical in the end as it was when it started.
All right, where is she returning from?
She is actually returning from the dead. Because she's a goddess now, or an agent of the goddess who's running around redeeming souls at the end of the world. And the reason that we're playing this now, even though it's like we played it before and it's like reviewed it ages and yonks ago, is just because we've got Final Fantasy XV coming out, and I thought now would be a good time to just sort of address the fact that there was once a time. And even I think, man, that was a really long time ago. But once upon a time, there was a period in video game history when Square would announce a new Final Fantasy game and everybody would go, oh my god, Final Fantasy! I'm so excited! This is going to be the greatest gaming experience ever!
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, see, and now when Square announces that a new Final Fantasy game is coming out, most people's reactions are like, oh god, Square, what are you going to do to desecrate my memories of my beloved Final Fantasy, which has not been great in years. But, it's like you just keep doing things that, make it even worse than before. I, like many people, was really looking forward to Final Fantasy XIII, and then I finally sat down and I played it, and I was like, Square, what happened?
I think 13 is the one that my friend said I'd actually like, because I don't like Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay.
I like the combat.
All right.
I can't stand the running around aspect.
Okay, yeah. See, whereas for me, it's like I did like the running around aspect, and it's like they took all of that away with Final Fantasy XIII. It's like
Woohoo! No having to run.
You were just you were still running. It was just now you were just running through long straight corridors with no ability to explore whatsoever. Because what they thought people didn't like.
Was the exploring?
People don't like freedom and exploration, so instead we're just going to funnel them from one action set piece to the next, just like in Call of Duty. Basically, they tried to bring a Call of Duty sensibility to Final Fantasy XIII.
Call of Fantasy?
Yeah, exactly.
So you did
Call of Fantasy, or Fantasy Duty, I guess, because it actually did feel like a bit of an obligation to have to play through.
Sounds like a VR game.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy XIII happened, and then I was like, okay, well, they can't all be winners, but it's like maybe it'll be good with the sequel. It's like with Final Fantasy XIV, but then Square did not put Final Fantasy XIV out right away. Instead, they put out Final Fantasy XIII 2, and then after that, they put out Final Fantasy.
I think it stopped. Oh
my god!
Are we done?
Yeah, we'll just skip this and we'll just yay! It's combat. Okay, we'll just fight and. I'll just, continue to hit the attack button because that's all you can do for the tutorial attack.
You did watch the new Final Fantasy trailer, and you seemed a little worried.
Well, I mean, because it's now there are developments with Final Fantasy 15, which concern me. One is.
Did you say dinosaurs?
The trailer seemed to have a bunch of young pretty boys in a convertible driving around talking about young pretty boy things while checking out dinosaurs and occasionally attacking them.
What are young pretty boy things to talk about?
I don't know because it was in Japanese and it was not subtitled, or at least it has yet to be subtitled. So
you were never a young pretty boy having these conversations?
I may have been young once, but I was never a pretty boy, and the conversations I had probably weren't like that because I think that there's a super secret language that only pretty boys know, and since I was not a pretty boy, I was not privy to that language, and I never learned to speak it.
Wouldn't they only discuss hair and clothing if they had their own super secret language?
I imagined they would, but since I'm not a pretty boy, I had to talk about life and politics and other interesting things
or Final Fantasy.
Or Final Fantasy. Why is this combat taking so long?
Isn't this the game you said had great combat but great story but horrible combat? Something like that. Which one was that?
No.
Was that a Square game?
I'm trying to remember now. It's no, because it was not Final Fantasy. It's basically with this game, what's going on is they've refined the combat. Once you get into it and the system opens up, there are a lot of interesting things that you can do, but the story just goes completely off the rails. It's just silly.
So maybe this was one that you liked the combat, but the story was horrible, and you kept skipping cutscenes just to get more combat.
Oh, that might have been it. Yeah, because. Yeah, because I mean, it's here once you actually get into the combat, it's It actually it works on I'd want to call it the dress sphere system, but I know that's wrong because that would be from Final Fantasy X2. But basically, what happens is lightning attacks by changing outfits instantaneously in the middle of combat, and the different outfits have different properties. So what happens is the way that combat properly works is you actually are just constantly switching outfits in the middle of the fight.
It's different.
Yeah. So can we do this? Yeah. Okay, we'll just get into combat here. So she's wearing this one outfit, and it's oh hey, I'll switch over to this outfit, and then after that, I'll switch over to this outfit.
Now let's see if I could do that. My life would be so much easier.
And yeah, by using a combination of the different outfits with their different abilities, you can stun, you can stagger, it's blah blah blah. You can use different attacks which exploit different weaknesses, and it's all in real time. It's not turn-based. Yeah. So you actually do have to constantly be thinking on your feet, switching the outfits and using the different abilities and all that sort of thing. So there actually is a fair amount of real-time strategy involved in the combat. But
because my history with Final Fantasy is I haven't played any of them.
Okay.
I don't like RPGs.
I don't understand how you actually somehow managed to avoid playing Final Fantasy.
I have watched other people play Final Fantasy, plus I have a bunch of friends, so I know most of the story of especially 7. I'm very aware of it, because I have a lot of friends who are heavy into it. I just can't stand RPGs for the most part. The closest I've gotten to playing Final Fantasy is Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Well, yeah, which is you might actually like Final Fantasy XIII then.
There you go.
Because that's done by Nomura, who is the same guy that did Kingdom Hearts. So it's going to have very Kingdom Heartsy sort of combat.
See, I like Kingdom Hearts, but again, there was a lot of running around that seemed unnecessary in that game.
Yeah, and there's going to be more running around in Final Fantasy XV because that's.
See, if you just cut out the running around, I probably love the game. It's just
what is it about the running around that you don't like?
It's boring.
What?
You know the Final Fantasy Online that came out 10 years ago? Mm-hmm. I had friends who used to play it, and I used to sit in their living room.
Okay.
I watched a guy run across the map half an hour in real time to get somewhere. Half an hour of his life just to run from one point to the other point in a digital world.
Okay. Because there was no fast travel enabled yet at that time?
There wasn't.
Wow, okay.
Sometimes I'd come out in the morning, and he would have fallen asleep on the couch running somewhere, and his character was just running at a wall.
Okay. All right. Normal Final Fantasy games are not like that. There's still quite a bit of running around, but not half an hour in real time, because usually they incorporate some fast travel at some point.
No, but the other aspect is search every tower and all the land to find one stupid object. I hate that.
Okay, well,
that's Zelda to me. Absolutely no.
That kind of is still Final Fantasy to some degree. So yeah.
I'm not gonna hike to the top of an 80-foot tower for some box with something in it.
You derive no joy from exploration, I guess.
No.
Which is unfortunate because
I don't think I do.
I'm definitely an explorer type. It's I like when they've got big worlds where you're supposed to run around and just see what's there.
No, I hated that in BioShock Infinite because I used to run down hallways and there'd be nothing down there. I get so mad because I just spent my time running down a stupid hallway. Therefore, I never finished BioShock Infinite.
All right, so so the moral of this story is you're just never going to get into Final Fantasy.
Probably not.
With that kind of gaming sensibility, this probably is not the game for you. It really is for people that, wish that they were living in another world and want to explore that world. But but if that's not you, then Final Fantasy is.
I'd live in Kingdom Hearts world. That's where I'd live.
So you can admire all the Disney animation, I guess.
Oh yeah, Disney.
Because I assume that
fan
you wouldn't.
Service.
Yeah, you wouldn't really be into exploring the actual worlds themselves, right?
No.
Yeah.
But I play Kingdom Hearts, and Wonderland takes 8,000 hours to finish because you have to explore everything.
Yeah, which I liked. I like that part, looking for all the hidden stuff. That's
I did enjoy
finding all of the Dalmatians.
Yeah, I did enjoy looking for puppies.
Yeah.
Because it's different. Because ooh, this relates to my childhood. I'll find all the
Oh,
puppies.
all right. But we'll have to see what happens with Final Fantasy XV. It's a different crew, so, and it's a completely new installment, so you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. At least there's new characters and new story, because the Final Fantasy XIII story had run its course, but they just kept milking it beyond all reason.
See, now if they made a Final Fantasy GTA type game, I'd be all over that.
Final
just
Fantasy
drive
GTA
around,
game.
go in the strip clubs, and fight some monsters. and
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Well, but it's got to have like the strip clubs and all that stuff for you, I guess. So.
Doesn't have to have the strip clubs. Just the driving and the various places to explore in a city in a small area.
Okay. We'll see what you think of Final Fantasy 15 then, because I mean, all right. Aside from the driving around, checking out dinosaurs and killing them, there are also points where the pretty boys drive around in their convertible in the city,
There you go.
because there is a city component to that.
That's more my style.
Yeah. But, oh, great! I managed to get behind this thing, so I got like an attack bonus. Woohoo! And I staggered it, so I'm just gonna go and finish this thing off, and it's over. Wow, that was actually really fast.
That was very easy.
So we'll just leave her with her extremely pretentious battle pose, because it's like we've been playing enough, and I've been bitching about Final Fantasy XIII for way too long. So we'll just leave it there, trepidatiously waiting for Final Fantasy 15, hoping it doesn't screw up.
Maybe I'll like it. You'll
You
hate
might
it.
like it. You
You'll
might like
hate it, and
I
I'll like it. That's what's gonna happen.
that might actually happen. So, all right, I'm Wayne. This is Mel. That was Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns. We're out of here.